I like it. I really like it. I like his approach to the whole song. I look at, I compare it to Whitney's because I think he throughout his rendition, he's paying homage to Whitney, I think. And but I like his intro because Whitney's off the jump, it's drums, and then all of a sudden the horns come in, like dun dun dun, Jose, can you see? It's very majestic right off the bat. With Charlie's, it's very soothing. He's about to serenade somebody or serenade the whole crowd, but it's very simple. He just hits that note, and then it's like, and then so it's very simple, very nice, and you're just kind of like, it's a different approach, and I like it.
Oh, say, can you see?
Listen to this choir. Listen to this choir. The dynamics of that choir is so good. And if Charlie did this arrangement by himself, I give him so much props because it's one of the most beautiful arrangements I've ever heard of this song. But the choir was just on point. And so you got to appreciate this choir because I feel like a lot of times background singers, the instrumentation, all that stuff doesn't get the credit that it should get. Because to me, Charlie Puth is not the greatest singer. He's not a Whitney. He's not Faith Hill. He's not, Jennifer Hudson or Mariah Carey. But his arrangement is so good that it covers that. He doesn't need to be the greatest singer. To me, he's a decent singer. He's not a great singer. He's a good singer. So unfortunately to me, with this arrangement, if let's say Usher sang it, or I can't even think. I was thinking if he sang this with Boyz II Men, like having like Wanye sing some of that parts where it just needs a little more umph, like it would have been, this song in this rendition would have destroyed, and it would have been right up there with Whitney's to me. It's like, or even Catherine McPhee. Catherine McPhee is another good one that if she sang Charlie's rendition, she would have destroyed his rendition. It would have been so good. But since it's Charlie, it's fine, and he still came out really well. To me, this is still my like second favorite, close second compared to Whitney's. Whitney's is 10 out of 10. His is like an 8.5, and then I would say Faith Hill is a close third, which I give her like an 8.2, and then Mariah Carey, and then Jennifer Hudson, and the rest. But yeah, that's just my take on it. But yeah, let's listen to that background. Listen to the vocals, the choir, and then listen to the strings as they come in. I'll point it out. Right? And then you have the Kenny G. And that chord, so it's almost like his introduction, right? Whose broad stripes? But instead of B flat major, it's he's doing I don't know. He switched it up, which I like. He's adding a little more flavor to it, and I think he's just flexing. To me, Charlie, I mean, he's such a great pianist that he's just flexing, and that's one thing I would point out. He's really good. He's a master at the piano. He's a master at songwriting, production, composing, all that, arranging. And I would say his vocals are secondary or even tertiary. That's not his primary instrument. Piano is his primary instrument. So with Kenny G, I think that was genius. It was just a genius chord, beautiful chord. So he played, was it E or E flat, F over E flat. So, and it just switches it up and makes it sound a little more flavorful. At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars. Simple or So people say less is more, right? So to me, simple is what that part called for, right? Whose broad stripes and bright stars, instead of he went stars through the perilous fight. It just has that. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. I think that simple was better in that instance. In this part.
And bright stars through the perilous fight.
Listen to those strings. Those strings come in and it eases in. You don't even really notice it until it's almost loud enough, right? And then you have the choir going, perilous fight. And it's the dynamics, everything about it. It was just clean, precise, and smooth.
And bright stars
Strings.
through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
See, even throughout that whole part, the strings are holding out notes. The choir is complimenting what he's saying. They're kind of like echoing what he's saying, and it just carries that whole part. Because there's not much you can really do with that part because it's just a repeat of the first. It's the second part of the first verse. So it was nice. It was just very soothing. Just keeps it simple. Because coming up, right, and the Rockets' Red Glare, that's when the timpanis come in. That's when the horns come in, and it's just majestic. This is where the meat of the song is, and I think he did a good job of just keeping it fairly simple and just soothing, right? And now it's going to just go into that epic, majestic feel. So, to me, that was the first chord that I liked, and that was unexpected. It was a surprise to me when I heard it. I was like, ooh, that was sick. I like where Charlie took it. Because he went, and the Rockets' red glare. Instead of, I think Whitney Houston's is, and the Rockets' red glare. So, and then like, let's say Faith Hill's, and the So, the way he approached it was like this. It's unresolved and there's tension in the chord. So and the you hear that bass boom boom, it just has that tension. And then the horns and the timpani's like boom boom. You can hear that timpani hitting almost on every downbeat, or at least every one beat, because it's a 4/4, so it's hitting on the one. Let's hear. Telling you, appreciate that choir. It's making it rounder. Just that and the it fills the harmony. It fills that whole section right there, and just give credit to the choir because they're really good. Okay. Another critique of Charlie's vocals when he does through the night. He does it on tempo, on beat, and it doesn't. If he just sped it up a little bit, put a little bit more off rhythm, it would have been so much better. Because it's when you start seeing things on beat too much, it takes away to me the feeling or the the it just takes away. It takes away. So I'll do what he did, so you can kind of hear what I'm saying. Gave proof through the night that our flag, instead of doing something like gave proof through the night that our flag, like kind of go a little faster, because everything is building and you wanted to keep moving, right? So I just think by doing it on beat, it slowed it down and it didn't have the effect that he was going for. And I can hear it. I was like, that was such a good run or little melody line that he did with it, that if he just sped up a little bit more, it would have been so good. But it's still fine. It was still fine. Don't get me wrong, but it could have been so much better. And these are the little things that I'm like, see, if it was like an 8.5, this would have made it like a 9.5 or 10 out of 10, right? If there's these little subtle tweaks that I think that it could have been improved and it would have been a better final product. That's what. Oh, this is a Winnie right here. That our flag was still there. I think. Still there. She does that, I believe. So it's like, see, all these little homages to Winnie, which is cool. I like that he did that. And listen to that choir. That our flag was still there. One thing I like that he did. He delayed on star, right? Oh, say, does that star, like that. If he delays like that, it makes it sound so much more. I don't even know what the word is, but it instead of singing on beat, right? Like he's been doing. Oh, say, does that star, instead of that. Oh, say, does that star spangled. And to me, the spangled, he sang it very gently. I think if he added more to it, like spangled, like kind of what Winnie did, it would have been better. But it was good. Another little critique of his voice. Wave. He trailed up. And I was thinking, it would have been nice if he just stayed on that note. Wave. Kind of like what Whitney Houston did. But I know that, see, with Whitney's, wave, it goes down. And I know with his chord progressions, it was like, wave. Because he goes from this, he goes on the land of the free. So just different chord progressions will call for different things that you'll do vocally. But I think, like I said, if he kept it more simple at that point, because the way he sang it, it was a little more. I felt like he winged that part, and it was a little hesitant. Like he was. Added it like thinking, oh, maybe I'll just add this to it, and to me it took away just a little bit, just a hair. One other thing, typically timpanis can play 3 notes, and so I'll leave it at that. One thing also I did not point out, let me go back, that I found this was the chord that had my mind's ears confused, because it was so good and I couldn't figure it out in my head. I was like, how did he pull this off? Because it doesn't make sense. just hearing how I heard it. So let me see.
Oh, say does that star
That star. Does that star. So that's the chord, right? But when I first heard it, I heard the F sharp. So that star. I heard these two notes. And it confused me because I was like, I hear boom, 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 that star spangled. And then as I listened to it a few more times, I think what it was the timpani. Because when you hear a timpani, it'll hit a note, but it's not clear. It's not a fully clear sound, and it's kind of muffled. So I think the sound, the dispersed sound of the timpani made it sound like there was an F sharp in there. Because it's like when you hear if you hear a timpani, I don't have a timpani instrument here, I don't think, but it just sounds like boom. It has this like muffled sound. It'll hit the note, but it'll also sound like it's the notes around it are being played too. So it's like kind of like that, if that makes sense. So when I heard that, I was like, that's so sick because he pulled it off. And then it could also be overtones, right? So when you hear, like, let's say this, sometimes what you'll hear in your ears is like this. You'll hear those just because, I don't know the scientific stuff about it, but your ear will naturally want to hear, or will hear it too. It's being played, but it's in the frequencies or the waves, it's low. So you're subtly hearing it. Timpani's hitting on all those.
o'er the land of the free and the home.
Listen to those horns, listen to that choir. They're full voicing like and it's so clean and beautiful. I don't know. You just got to have an appreciation for a choir that can sing like this, because they're just on point, precisely on the notes, and it's making it sound so heavenly, I would say, majestic, epic, however you want to call it. It almost sounds like a Disney movie. To me, it's almost like the reprise of a Disney movie. So like Part of Your World or A Whole New World or something, where it's just the reprise and it's full of this, or like even Lion King, like at the end, right? At the end, Circle of Life. It just has that feel. So it's cool because I like that type of music, the Disney type of music, Alan Menken stuff. So he really he added that. I feel like that's part of his sound in this rendition he did.
Land of the free and the home of the brave.
Very like
Of the brave.
and you also gotta give credit to the visuals, right? I think that's what also helps with music. It's when you see those planes flying over, I'm sure it gave people chills, and with the music accompanying it, it's all around great. It has that epic feel, it has that majestic type of feel. So even like with Whitney Houston's, it was like that part when she said, she raised her hands, right? She was like brave, and it felt so patriotic. It felt so, it was just part of her performance, and her soul was in that performance, So those are little things that can make or break, to me, a performance. Because I mean, imagine if it was just something simple, or it was on one of the head coaches during that part. It's not going to be as fulfilling. It's not going to be as visually appealing and encompass what Charlie Puth was doing and singing and the chords that he was playing at that point. It's almost like it's like a film score. It's like a movie. The music has to match the visuals. So this was a perfect example of that video where it like zoomed out and then it went up to the sky and you see those planes flying over. It just had that feel and it ended so well. I think Charlie Puth, this is the end. I have no critique about the end that he did. It sounded so good. He was on point. He delivered it. He delivered. And I think, when you hear a song or anything, most people remember the beginning and the end. And that end, he delivered. And that ending was a 10 out of 10. So I think that's why a lot of people had good things right off the jump. Like, wow, that was a good rendition of it. And it was. So much props to Charlie.